Welcome to Bucks on the Bookshelf with your host, Steve the Bookman Eisenstein. Steve the Bookman Eisenstein has been involved in buying, selling, and appraisals of rare books since 1968. This show has been designed with making money for the listeners in mind. More people know the value of coins, stamps, objects of art, and collectibles they do not own than the values of the books in their home library shelves. Now, here's Steve the Bookman Eisenstein.
Good morning, my fellow rare bookians, and welcome to today's very special edition of Bucks on the Bookshelf. You are listening to us live right now. It's Saturday, 10 o'clock on the WDBF radio networks. We will be posting today's show later on YouTube. This is the first ever. I actually had to go to hair and makeup today, haha. But I couldn't shave. My apologies. My underneath the beard is still a couple of cat claw tracks, so we're gonna just wait a little while for that. But it's a phenomenal experience. It's different, you know. The last time I was on camera, it was quite a few years ago, and it was for 6 years on the Rare Book Cafe. So it's not new, but here we are. And Captain Hook later in the program maybe jump in with a few words on how they can see us on YouTube. We'll mention it again. So if you have questions during this live show, like right now, we have a phone line. The telephone number is 888-575-4394. That's 888-575-4394. If you want to talk to us live on air right now, that's the number to use, 888-575-4394. But we also know that we have a very large audience that listens to us on replay. So if you have questions for us when we are not live, I am going to give you a landline number. No text, no messages, purely old-fashioned conversation to start. And that telephone number is 305 868 5515. 305 868 5515. When we say hello, please say hello right away because I've got some choice lines for those those salespeople in insurance these days. I guess it's the season to switch your policy, but I never will. So if you want to reach us on air, 305 no, if you want to reach us on air, 888-575-4394. If you want to reach us off air, 305-794-0130. Before we get to book talk, I call myself a public face, a private person. The past 2 weeks, I shared some of the private with you all. So let me clarify exactly how stupid I was in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, I said to myself, I need more energy. So I went to Walgreens. I studied about 60 different bottles, not the liquid 5 hour energy, other stuff, increase everything. All right. That was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Came home, took them. And I had taken them before. I was very surprised. I wound up, let's just say, hurling for hours on end. Went to a doctor the next day. Left me, I never had high blood pressure before, but it was 179 over 64. It came right down after I did some yoga breathing. But that left me kind of in a tizzy. And then to add insult to, I guess, injury, not this Tuesday, but a week ago Tuesday, Edie was supposed to go to a doctor to get sutures out from some Mohs surgery. So a friend of ours was driving us, and they made a wrong turn on a one-way street. We didn't get killed in a head-on, fortunately. But then they backed up and accidentally hit a car, etc. So we were all very annoyed. Edie didn't get the stitches out. We went home. And so my neighbor, dejected because the accident was her fault, went into her apartment. And as she went in, her cat ran out. And I've played with this cat before, and you guys know I consider myself the cat whisperer. Well, I said, look, I don't want you to have to go chase your cat. I'll go do it. I got careless. I picked the cat up the wrong way, and the rest was claws in my face. So that was the last 2 weeks. And why I'm telling you all this now, very simply, thank you for all the support that you guys sent. It was appreciated, and I can tell you it was actually needed. I don't think I ever had a medical scare like this in my life, but amen for that. Thanks, guys. I totally appreciate over the years the support that you and the audience have given us. Um, okay, so they say that all good things must end someday. Well, the warehouses, okay, you all know I've been working on two major estates. The estate that is the house is phenomenal. I've never met a nicer person and the owner of this estate. It's kind of like a mutual admiration society, and things are just wonderful. I mean, they're happy, I'm happy. Who can't be happy with the stuff that I've been exposed to? But the warehouses, I still haven't fully digested it. I have valid reason to complain. It was sold out from under me. Um, that's the bottom line. I'm happy for the clients that they got rid of the books. But on my end of it, I learned a lesson. I can be trusted, but I'm not trusting anyone anymore. It's sad. It really is. This kind of hurt me to the core. It won't affect me, but it happened. So we're no longer working on the warehouses. I don't know if that's a blessing in disguise or what. My wife is saying, yes, it is. Now you don't have to go lift up 300 boxes of books. Thanks, honey. Anyway, on a much happier note, now I can focus totally on the other estate. And with what I've gotten there, wow. In the next couple of days, I am going to be, if I was ever a guest on Jeopardy next week and the Philippines were the subject, by next week, I don't think there's going to be a question I can't answer about the Philippines. Um, and I'm also going to make an observation. And every once in a while, I like to quote from conversations we have had at book fairs. And there's not too many. If you've been in the business, you know who I'm talking about. From 10 Pound Island Books. I guess it was just before COVID. We were at the book fair, and I was it was one of those booths that I don't think I was sharing it with anyone that year. And it was, massive amounts of books. And he came into the booth and he was saying, boy, looks like you got good books, but you look tired. And I said, yeah, what are you doing these days? He said, you know what? I'm not buying books anymore. I am sticking strictly to paper and ephemera. And I said, why? He said, because they're much easier to sell. They're much easier to handle. And I thought about it then, but you can only be experienced due to what you're exposed to in this business. And I will tell you, we've been exposed to paper a lot, ephemeral type things, but we never had it in this quantity. And what I am seeing from the paper is ephemera sells much faster than books. I had some interesting ephemera price ranges anywhere from about 50 to $300 an item. I showed the person the image. I gave them the price. I said, put it on my bill. Books, well, it's another story. I'm not quitting books, don't get me wrong. But if you are new and you're asking yourselves these questions, the purpose of this show is to try and give you information to help you develop better methodologies within the book business that we're all in. And there's so many aspects of it. I mean, I jokingly say we specialize in generalities, but, after 57 going on 58 years in the stacks, not too much we haven't seen. And handled is another word, but, but then again, You can't master this business in a lifetime. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is from now on, if I'm doing people with business and they're my client, I'm getting it in writing. I'm sad. It hurts me to say that. It really does. So that's what's going on with that. Um, where are we going from here? Paper is easier, so on and so forth. Lots of auction things have been going on this week. We are going to be sending a lot of various materials to PBA. I had a great conversation with Chris Dunlap the other day on the phone from PBA. If anybody's out there, I mean, I don't get paid to recommend. I recommend people from the heart and my own experience with them. PBA is a great auction house. I mean, Sotheby's Christie's, of course. But do you have, we as dealers every day don't get the kind of books that they are looking for. But don't be intimidated, if you have books in the, four, five, seven, $800,000 range and such, they don't all have to be $10,000 or $5,000 books, different auction houses, different types of things. So one of the things that we talked about in the promotion of the show today. Well, let me before I get there, let me run by. I just saw a page of notes on some things. Um, we all love props in movies. We look at them with a different eye than a lot of people because of the collectability of them. So here's a few recaps of pre-auction estimates and maybe a few things sold. Loki. That's Jim Carrey's Loki, not the Avengers Loki. One of the masks used all of this is at a Julian's auction, pre-auction estimate $5,000 to $7,000. Okay, so here's a fun question. What's worth more? Jim Carrey's mask or Harrison Ford's fedora? Well, the answer is obvious. 50 to 75K pre-auction estimate for the fedora. One of Henry's wands, 10 to 20K. Those envelopes with the letters to Hogwarts, and all of that. There's different states of them, as I'm finding out. There's the ones that we used in the eggs. There's the ones that they blew through the fireplace. There's the ones they opened and handled. I would presume this is one of the better ones. It's an envelope with an original wax seal on it, $6,000 to $8,000. And surprisingly, I never liked this movie Hellraiser, but the box, that metal box, kind of a satanic Rubik's Cube, I guess you would call it. That's going for about 3 grand. Now, here's another story. And how we told, I don't remember. No, I didn't tell this story. It was in the newspapers in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you all heard this or not, but a couple of weeks ago in the newspapers, somewhere in, again, Europe, I want to say Middle Europe, it wasn't Spain or other countries with a Latin flavor to them. Some guys were hiking and they saw an old wall and along the trail. And I guess a combination of wind, rain, deterioration of the wall, the sunlight at that exact moment in time, these guys were supposed to find it. They found about $600,000 in gold coins and enamel and gold boxes, those fancy cigarette boxes and powder puffs and all that. The funny thing about this particular find, two guys walking, boom, the the oldest coin in it was from 19, not the oldest, the newest coin in it was from 1921. So speculation is it was probably somebody's hoard, or a group of people got together fleeing during World War II, but 600 grand in an old wall. Amazing. And to top that story, and I understand it, but I'd love to know more about why. What I'm going to tell you now was discovered in 2016. For whatever the reasons were, they didn't say anything about it until today, or the last issue of Art Daily. In 2016, in Spain, digging in a garden, two guys found a cache that contained 50,000 ancient coins. They were in 19 massive amphora jugs that were all in great shapes themselves. It was a construction site. And there they were. I mean, I love stories like that. And I'm actually rooted in this business to a story like that. My mentor, Harvey Stanson from Stan Books, if you go to eBay, and he's also going to be, he's a new member in Vintage Rare and Antique Books. That's funny. My mentor is a new member. It's kind of funny. Um, Besides starting me in books, when we were kids, I moved to Oceanside, Long Island in 1956. So this was which library was it? Elementary or junior high school? The junior high school library. So how old was I in seventh grade? I don't know, 12, 13 years old, something like that. Yeah, about that. About 1962-ish. I think actually it might have been a little earlier than that. He was digging in his uncle's garden. They were digging a garden. And he dug up a leather pouch and it had 30 large cents in it. Well, I ran, when he showed it to me, I said, oh God, I want to go up to visit your uncle the next time. We didn't have money at that time as kids for a metal detector, but I went to the library and I read every frickin' book on treasure hunting in the school library, the Oceanside Library. I even corresponded with Edward Rose Snow as a kid, and I often mention this because, like everybody else, I'm kind of boringly fascinated with Oak Island. Come on, guys, a coin, something. Um, but I found out about Oak Island, as I've said before, in one of Edward Rose Snow's book, and that book was published in 1958. So, yeah, Oak Island's been around obviously a long time. How they put together the business of that show. I mean, that is just amazing. I always envied Lloyd Bridges. He got paid to act and dive, sea hunt. These guys, they're in the construction business. I don't know what they're doing. And maybe they're still constructing, but all their, bread, butter, time, and effort is into this dig. What could be more fun than getting paid to go treasure hunting? Unlike in reverse, when we were first on the beach, you could pay Mel Fisher to go treasure hunting with him. Captain Hook, I'm sure you got hit with that one once or twice in the bars in Fort Lauderdale. Um, okay, so what is it? We got 1018. So I'm going to introduce what we're going to do for fun in the next segment. And errata, I stand corrected. When I told you to look up this set of books that we're going to be counting the medallions in, I said go to Adwell. My mistake. Via Libre. Go to vialibre.net, okay? And I'll tell you what you want to look up. If you're just joining us now, go to vialibre.net under oh shit, now I forgot which way I did it. I think it's title only, but if it doesn't work, don't do a title author search. Do a title search first, and if that doesn't work, do an author search first, but I'm pretty sure it was title search first. And this is what you're looking for. Paoletti Imprante, okay? That's not a bad pronunciation. I'll spell it for you. Paoletti. Second word. Imprante. Paoletti Imprante. Okay? That's what you want to search. when you go to vialibri.net, that's VIALIBRI.net. We'll be talking about those books and what we're going to be doing with them after we come back from item, the comparative set of books that are listed says that there are 8 volumes with 823 of them. That's not to say that you can't have a 6 volume set with 823 of them. It all depends on the size. Did everybody bind these books the same way? Let me give you a little more information about this. It was a mid 19th century production, publication, white plastic ceramic medallions, with gilt paper. The manuscript's notations were added. The size of them range from 1.5 to 5 centimeters in size, and some are larger, in a recessed double-sided Fawkes book box. Theirs is in 8 volumes. When I look at my set, I see two things. A variant in size of the binding. And not only that, when you look at the set itself in the 6 volumes, 5 of the volumes are identical. And one of them is a variant binding. So it begs a lot of correlation type questions. Is mine complete? Well, we're going to find that out very shortly because, as I said, on the show, on the promo for the show, we're going to start counting every couple of minutes in a segment, different numbers. I don't want to bore you by counting to 823. But before I start that, this is a really important thing. This was literally something that we discovered in the last literally 26 hours or less since yesterday. We have had many a conversation on this show, even more so on Facebook, about arsenic in green cloth books from the 19th century, mid-19th, later 19th century. If your book is cloth and green at that time period, chances are there's arsenic in it. Okay, I'm going to throw out some random thoughts or facts that will all collate at the end. We've talked about cats before. We've talked about cats and books. I've said many times in all the years we've had cats, no cat has ever bothered a book in this house. I even studied it to the point where there was a study done. I didn't do the study, but I was really enthusiastically reading it, that somebody did about photography books and cats, and specifically Henry Cartier-Bresson's Decisive Moments. There's something in the glue or the binding of that particular edition of his works. The cats go nuts for it. Somebody was doing a story on photography books. This is where it came from. This is an AB story from ages ago. Someone was doing a story on photography books and happened to have been in a couple of photographic dealers' inventory sections. And by coincidence, several of them had cats. And by coincidence, Decisive Moments was was catnip for them. Or what do they call it now? What is that stuff? Temptations. Cat crack. If you have a cat, you're laughing because Temptations is like cat crack. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Green Book's arsenic. Shadow never, Tiger's never done anything, but Shadow was sniffing around the green books yesterday. Next to it were leather-bound books. She didn't even go near them, but all of a sudden, she started to scent on the book. We stopped her. Nothing got damaged yesterday, and then Edie saw her do it this morning. I put up a piece of aluminum foil last night all around the bottom of the shelf. That deters them. We have this stuff to spray and all that. But the reason I'm saying it is if you have cat in a bookstore and you have some of the old green bindings which may contain arsenic, I wouldn't want to find out what would happen after the cat starts licking it or something. I was afraid for the cat. I was also afraid for the book. It's like a $2,000 set of books, and I'm not joking about that. Yeah, yeah, I moved the books, but not the cats, and then I covered the whole shelf in plastic. So hopefully they won't be there too long. We're going to be on a selling roll. Hey, if anybody's got any questions, we got all kinds of answers. 888-575-4394. That's 888-575-4394. One of my favorite people in the antique world is going to be a guest on the show next week. That's Fran Miller from Barron Estate Sales in Miami. If you are thinking about running an estate sale company or want to just hear some fun adventures of book dealers and estate sale people, tune in next week. Fran should have her own show. She's really a great lady. Anyway, what I'm going to do now. Oh, I'm on air. Am I allowed to smoke on air?
Yeah, you can smoke on air. Can you hear me now, Steve?
Yeah, I can. Thanks. Thanks.
All right, we got it going.
All right, good. Okay, so to the people in the audience, I apologize, but I'm going to be boring for a couple of minutes here. I'm going to show, if you want to see what we're talking about, Captain Hook, can you tell us at this point when it will be up or where? If not,
But later this afternoon, probably after 4 o'clock, it'll be up. But you just go to our website, WDBFradio.com. And if you thumb down, you'll see a YouTube link. Just click on that and it'll take you to our YouTube page. Or you can just go to YouTube and put in WDBF Radio. And that's all.
terrific. YouTube WDBF Radio. Perfect. Thank you.
All righty.
Okay, so the book. Okay, this is what we're talking about. For those who are just joining, this is a double-sided Fawkes book, 19th century mid Rome, made by the Paoletti Manufacturing Company. Um, I'm wondering, I'm gonna have to do a little more research. Did they make collectible ceramics? If I'll tell you what, I haven't given anything away in a long time. If anybody can give me a little history of the Paoletti Ceramic Company, give us a call, 888-575-4394, and we will reward you with a good book for your reference section or your inventory. All right, so here we are in this volume right now, okay? And I'm going to show you, let's see, well, I got to be very careful. I'm sorry. I can't do this face forward. I risk ruining the hinges. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, times 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12, okay? We buy stock in index card companies, folks. You know, we use a lot of them. Okay, so that's 12 on one side, okay, and 12 on the other. Let's just double check that. No, yes, 12 and 12. That's not encouraging, unless there's a lot of small ones. Okay, so one volume has 24 in it, okay? Now, because things always, I've never destroyed a book except when I was doing a seminar or displaying. So I'm putting these, you can't see this right now, but there's a milk carton below me, and and I'm putting them in that. Okay. We're gonna do another. What time is it right now? What are we doing? Oh, we got to hit a break in a minute. Okay, so let's do this a speed count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Well, at 24 a volume, I think we're gonna be short. That is unfortunate, but we'll be back after these commercial words. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Very careful. Very support the hinges. They're weak.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself. Promises to one's community. Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battle won.
Yeah.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition, and then nothing. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
Rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. And then
Take the bandage
Never
off.
forget that day.
forget
Take that
day,
bandage off.
even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
I'm Trace Atkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
Gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Pray for peace. I wonder who. Who. Tell me,
Welcome to Bucks on the Bookshelf with your host, Steve the Bookman Eisenstein. Steve the Bookman Eisenstein has been involved in buying, selling, and appraisals of rare books since 1968. This show has been designed with making money for the listeners in mind. More people know the value of coins, stamps, objects of art, and collectibles they do not own than the values of the books in their home library shelves. Now, here's Steve the Bookman Eisenstein.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. You got questions? Take out something to write with. Take out something to write on. I got a couple of phone numbers to give you for on or off-air purposes. If you're listening to us live right now, Saturday, 10 to 12 p.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 888-575-4394. That's 888-575-4394 is the call-in number for the show. Questions answered, fortunes told, and free publicity for your store. We would love to have people calling the show and telling us about what they're doing in the wonderful world of rare books. You don't get opportunities like this often. It's free publicity, and we are just so happy that we can afford you that option. If you have questions and you are listening to the show on replay, and by replay, the show is replayed today from 4 to 6 p.m. It's replayed Sunday from 8 to 10 a.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. This is all Eastern Standard Time. And Monday from 1 to 3 a.m. If you have questions, give us a call at 305-868-5515. 305-868-5515 is a landline for off-air questions, comments, or anything you want to do. And we are always looking for informative and hopefully entertaining guests. I always say this. After 57 going on 58 years in this business, it's a cakewalk to be informative. But being entertaining in the rare book world, it's an evolving art form. It's not easy. I am, my dear. Well, does it count when the praise comes from the spouse? You know, of course it does. Okay, so let's go to volume 3. I hate to say it, but look at the disappointment in my face as reality is creeping in saying, okay, we're at 48. The goal is 823, and there's only 4 more volumes. Okay. We're going to have an interesting conversation about this at the end because I'm going to do the appraiser's dance in my head. Normally, broken sets are not very saleable, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But because of the uniqueness and novelty of those, I think it's a little better potential to sell a broken set than it is in other areas, depending on what's between the pages. Okay, so we are in volume 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, let's start from the beginning. It gets. Let me show you these to start with. That's the first side. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, it would be nice if something can go into the 100. Let's see what this. Okay, these are kind of bigger. All right, so we got 14 there. I think we're going to have the same number here. It seems to be kind of algebraic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Double checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, unless math has changed, 16 and 14 is 30. Not looking good, folks. Not looking good. And while we're doing this, we're collating a book. We're boringly counting numbers with excitement. But this is part of the work, folks. This is where, when I'm sitting down and appraising somebody's book at a couple of $100 an hour, this is the tedium that we put into it. I mean, it's fun, but it is tedious. Don't get me wrong. It's fun and tedious. This is Well, I don't know how many are on here. I didn't count them yet, but you counted fast. You might be right. I don't think so, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good eyes, honey. Okay, so we got 12 in that one. Ooh, not a happy camper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. And it's confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 and 12 is 26. Now I know why I can't play two-handed video games. Single person shooter. Okay, we are now at volume 5. Now, ooh, like I said, no joke. This is the first time I've opened it. One of them is loose. You might have been thinking I was not telling you the absolute truth, that I've had this for so long. How could I not count what was in it? Trust me, I got so much to count that it was very easy to not count until the moment counted. The moment counted. Okay. Yeah, I know the numbers are in the covers, but you can't. You have to physically do this in order to say you did it. It's like going through a 200-page book looking for 7 lithographs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 again. So that's 30. Now we are okay. What I also have to do in research now, an added question, although I think I'm accepting defeat, the added question tells me that I'm not accepting defeat. Are there variations? Are there other variations of this? I think it's going to be difficult to find out because in comparative analogies, I only found one copy. And just to answer the bottom line question, if it was complete, if we had all 823, and if the dealer, the only dealer in the world that is listing these particular books right now, is knowledgeable, and I think they are, it's $25,000. Let's get to send me a good picture. Oh, yeah, okay, got you, buddy. Okay, no, this ain't gonna bring us over the hill, that's for sure. Oh, well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's a long way to Tipperary, folks, and that's what we're going to do right now, okay? 24 and 20, correct me if I make a mistake. Stop for a second. 21. 24 and 24 is 48, and 30 is 78. And 26 is 104, and 30 is 134, and 21 is 155. Oh, Badootie. That's not good. Look at the disappointment in my face. No makeup needed. Terry, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. But oh well. Okay, so it's not 25 grand. What is it? Well, I know that the book was reprinted twice in 2003 and 13, I think. And to be honest about it, in the next, what is it? We're at 10:55. God, I wish they didn't change that clock. Um, I'm not sure what to do yet. I've really got to do some more research. But intuitively speaking, let's see. I'm testing my intuition right now. This is what we do. I think based on my research right now, this is what I think it is. With the STC heading, subject to change, okay? It's approximately 155 and 8:23. We're well under $5,000 at this point. We're right around there, I would think. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1/6, 1/5. Yeah. Then the other question is, well, okay. So here's what we're going to do during the course of this week, and we will catch you all up next week or during the week. I'm probably going to put them up for sale eventually. James Mallon, I think that was your name. You're in Japan right now. I'm going to be sending you message later today. We had one person that actually, based on just showing the book, is interested in it. Unfortunately, it is not complete. So what will we do? Well, tune in next week for the continuing serial. But, I'll probably know within the next 24 hours. I can't sit on this for too long. As a matter of fact, Captain Hook, let's go run tape. I want to go to work. Oh, I am working,
Time to sell some books.
Yeah, time to sell some books. I wish there was one, it would be commercializing the program, which is something I never really ever had a goal to do. But, bad time for a cross conversation through the doors, kids. So we'll see what happens with it. Hey, we're just saying hello, Josh. How you doing, buddy? If anybody needs the most fantastic Ansel Adams photographer that has a 6,000 square foot studio downtown, he's my next door neighbor. Okay. I thought your studio was 6,000. Oh, 3,000. Okay. To me, that's still 6,000. I got to go back to the network. And we got 2 minutes before. No, this can't happen. Okay. Anyway, a little bit of crosstalk. Very creative guy. One day we saw him going to work, and it was a Sunday, and usually he doesn't go to work on Sunday. So he said, "What are you doing?" There was some fashionista that was in town, and they needed a quick photo shoot of her walking out of a famous hotel. $2,000 an hour. I thought I was getting good money as an appraiser. $2,000 an hour to take pictures. Wow, man. He's phenomenal, though. I got to tell you. I've seen his work. Very creative with a lens. So anyway, that just takes us right now. I swear the clock is stuck on 10:58. If you have questions, we want to answer them. 888-575-4394. Even though I kind of did a Titanic type auction last week, it really wasn't prepared enough. Oh, wow. Okay. My wife just gave me something. We're going to talk more about the intaglios. I should have used that word before. Very shortly, as I lead us into a commercial message. Edie just did something. She Googled something online, and she found a phenomenal, wow, I'm going to read this all to you later. This is a seriously descriptive description of the book that we were just talking about. And on that note, we'll be back after these commercial words. Top of the hour. Here we go. This is fun. Being on camera. It's keeping me more alert. If you're saying anything to me, I can't hear you. But this is fun. Well, okay, we're off air. Edie, I'm talking to you right now. We're off air right now. At least I hope we are. This does not look like the same.